Welcome back to the deep dive. If you are waking up today and feeling that very specific low-level vibration in the atmosphere, a kind of nervous electricity, you're definitely not alone.
Oh, yeah, you can feel it.
It is Monday, February 2, 2026, and if you are dialed into the local sports ecosystem even a little bit, you know exactly why the calendar matters today. We are officially in the end game of the preseason.
That's right. The speculation phase is, it's officially over. We are about to hit reality.
We are talking, of course, about the B.A.L.L. League. Season 2 is quite literally staring us in the face.
It is.
And today, we are on a mission. We aren't just going to read a schedule or list off names like, a phone book. We are going to unpack the administrative pressure cooker happening this week. We're going to dissect this expanded 8-team field that honestly looks terrifyingly competitive. And we're going to break down the opening night slate at the MAP Sports facility.
It is a lot to get through. But looking at the source material we have, the official league memos, the roster breakdowns, the scouting reports, the one thing that jumps out at me immediately is just the elevation.
The elevation.
Yeah. Season 1 was the proof of concept. It was the can we do this phase. But the talent ceiling for Season 2, I mean, it hasn't just crept up. It has skyrocketed.
That's the word on the street. The days of showing up hungover, lacing up some old sneakers, and expecting to, jog your way to a win, they're completely over.
No question. There are no easy matchups this year.
But before we get to the fun stuff, the trash talk, the rivalries, the actual basketball, we have to talk about the stress. Because while opening night is the party, the real panic is happening right now, this week.
It is the administrative crunch time. This is where championships are actually lost, before a ball is even tipped.
Okay, let's unpack this timeline, because if you're a captain or a player, your phone is probably blowing up right now. We are sitting here on February 2. But the most critical date on the calendar, it isn't game day. It's this coming Friday, February 6th, 2026. This is the lock-in.
Right. The final registration deadline. And I think for the average fan or, the casual observer, this just sounds like paperwork. It sounds boring.
Yeah.
But from a league operations standpoint and for the captains, this is everything. The source material is very explicit here. All teams and player rosters must be finalized on or before February 6th.
So this means we are done with the, hey, my cousin might be free to play if he gets off work early phase.
Zero tolerance. The window slams shut. Yeah. And you have to understand the psychology here. Up until Friday, a team captain is basically a recruiter. You're a general manager. Right. You're sending texts. You're negotiating. You're trying to assemble assets. If you're trying to find that one shooter who can space the floor. But the second that clock strikes midnight on the 6th, that phase, it dies.
Yeah.
You have to become a coach.
That's a massive shift. You go from who can I get to what do I do with what I have?
Precisely. You have to stop looking at who you wish you had and look at the list of names you actually have. You have to say, okay, this is our identity. This is who we are going to war with.
It forces commitment.
It does. And frankly, for the league organizers, they need this for the logistics, insurance, court time, scheduling. They can't have fluid rosters where guys are jumping teams every week. It destroys the integrity of the league.
So if there are any captains listening to this right now, stop procrastinating. Stop waiting on that one guy who says he's 50-50 depending on his girlfriend's schedule.
Just lock it in. You have until Friday.
Lock it in.
Because once you do, the vibe shifts completely. Yeah. We move from the administrative stress, the spreadsheets and the text of the 6th, to the absolute glamour of the 13th.
Yes. February 13th, 2026. This is the date I have circled. Official Media Day.
It is a huge deal.
And we aren't talking about someone taking a grainy photo on an iPhone 12 in a dimly lit gym against a brick wall. We're talking professional photo shoots, player features, video promos. This is the fit check moment of the season.
It is, but I want to push on why this matters. It's not just vanity. Well, it's a little bit of vanity.
A little bit.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where the brand of Season 2 is built. This is what separates a Tuesday night pickup run from a legitimate league.
Okay.
When you have dedicated media days, when you are creating high-definition content for social media, you are signaling to the audience, and more importantly to the players, that this matters.
It raises the stakes, doesn't it? It makes it feel pro.
100%. Think about the psychology. It is much harder to slack off on defense or to get blown out by 20 points when you know there is a 4K video promo of you looking tough that just dropped on Instagram.
Right. You don't want to be the guy who looked cool in the promo and then got dropped on the court.
The look good, play good, phenomenon is real.
It is.
Exactly. It adds a layer of public accountability. You've posted the photos, you've done the flex, now you have to back up the image on the court. It turns the players into characters in a narrative, which makes the whole season more engaging for every watching.
So, we have the lock-in on the 6th. We have the media day flex on the 13th. But then we get to the actual product, the field itself. And here's where it gets really interesting.
The composition of the league.
We have 8 competitive teams this season. And looking at these roster notes, what strikes me is the diversity in play styles. It feels like a role-playing game where everyone chose a different character class. You don't just have 8 teams trying to do the same thing.
That's a great analogy. The metagame is very balanced.
I want to go through these because picking a favorite now might save you some heartache later. And we have to pay respect to the throne. We have to start with the defending champions.
Of course, you always start with the champ.
They have a new name, but the pedigree is undeniable. The team formerly known as College has rebranded, they are now, BBQ Chicken.
Which honestly is a fantastic name. It's aggressive.
It's incredibly confident. For those who don't know the basketball reference, BBQ Chicken is what Shaquille O'Neal used to say about post players he could dominate. It means easy food. You don't call yourself BBQ Chicken unless you plan on feasting on the rest of the league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are led by Armin Brown. And the narrative here is simple. They are the target. But being the defending champion is a unique psychological burden. In Season 1, College was the hunter. They were climbing the mountain.
Right.
Now, they are the hunted. Every single team we are about to mention has probably spent the offseason specifically designing defenses to beat Armin Brown's squad.
That is a heavy crown to wear. So let's look at who is hunting them. First up, the Raptors. They're led by Alvin Feliciano. The scouting report here uses 2 very specific words: disciplined and physical.
And that is a dangerous combination for an amateur league. Usually you get one or the other. You get a physical team that fouls too much and puts you on the line, or you get a disciplined team that is technically sound but maybe a bit soft, but disciplined physicality. That just wears you down.
What does that look like in practice? If I'm playing against them, what am I feeling?
It means they are bumping you on every cut. They are boxing out hard. They are making you feel their weight for 40 minutes. But, and this is the key, they aren't reaching and bailing you out with free throws. They make you earn every inch. That is a nightmare to play against because you wake up the next morning feeling like you're in a car wreck and you look at the score and realize you only scored 40 points.
Contrast that with Royale, led by Joel San Diego. Their keywords are chemistry and fast-paced play.
So we have a classic style clash. If the Raptors want to turn the game into a wrestling match, Royale wants to turn it into a track meet. And chemistry is the engine of speed. You cannot play fast if you don't know your teammates.
How so?
Well, think about a fast break.
Yeah.
You can only run a truly fast break if you trust your teammates. If I get the rebound and I know instinctively that Joel is leaving the left lane, I can throw the pass without looking. That saves half a second.
Which is huge.
And in basketball, particularly in a league with this talent level, half a second is the difference between a layup and a turnover. Royale is betting that they are faster than you are conditioned.
Speed kills. Okay, next up, Icy Hot. Another great name. Led by Evan Bulletze. The notes here highlight energy and depth.
And depth is the most underrated asset in leagues like this. It doesn't look sexy on paper, but it wins games.
Why do you say that? Everyone wants the star player.
Sure, everyone wants the star.
Yeah.
But we're talking about full-court basketball with a running clock. Everyone gets tired. I don't care how good a shape you're in. Right. If Icy Hot can rotate 5 guys out and bring 5 fresh guys in who keep the energy at 100%, they win by attrition. While other teams are grabbing their shorts and gasping for air in the last 5 minutes, Icy Hot is still running. They win the games in the margins in the final 4 minutes.
That's a great point. Fatigue is the great equalizer. Next, we have the Grizzlies, led by Aaron Sarmiento. The tag here is tough on both ends of the floor.
A true two-way team. That implies a level of grit that is rare. Most players in these leagues, they save their energy for offense because scoring is fun. They rest on defense.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies seem to pride themselves on the grind. This connects back to the Raptors a bit. It sounds like a blue-collar identity. They aren't going to give you anything easy. If you want to score on the Grizzlies, you are going to have to work for it.
Then we have the Bisons, led by Michael Tran. Now, this is interesting to me. They are labeled as one of the most improved rosters.
That is the sleeper narrative.
Yeah.
This is the wild card of the league.
Because we don't know what they look like.
Exactly. If they have retooled significantly, the scouting reports from last season are useless. If you are preparing for the old Bisons and the new Bisons show up with 3 new shooters and a big man, your game plan is trash.
Right.
That element of surprise makes them very dangerous early in the season because nobody has tape on them.
Speaking of dangerous, let's talk about Mamba, led by E.J. De La Cruz. The descriptors here are hungry and dangerous.
Hungry is a specific basketball emotion. It usually implies they feel they have something to prove. Maybe they felt slighted last season, maybe they are a younger squad, but a hungry team plays with a chip on their shoulder.
Right.
They dive for loose balls, they take the charges, they play with a level of desperation that can overwhelm teams that are just happy to be there. And finally, rounding out the 8, we have the Bulls, led by Sean Reyes. The focus here is strength and strong interior presence.
And that changes the geometry of the game completely.
What do you mean by geometry? Break that down.
Well, most modern basketball is played on the perimeter. Everyone wants to shoot threes like Stephen Curry. But if the Bulls have a strong interior presence, big guys who can score in the paint, it forces the defense to collapse inward.
Okay.
It shrinks the floor for the opponent. If the Bulls control the paint, they control the rebounds. And if you control the rebounds, you control the tempo. You dictate the game. You force the other team to play small, or you force them to foul.
So just to recap the gauntlet here, we have the champs, BBQ Chicken.
Yep. The physicality, the Raptors. The speed, Royale. The depth, Icy Hot.
Right.
The two-way grind, Grizzlies. The improved sleeper, Bisons. The hungry wild card, Mamba. And the muscle, the Bulls.
It is a perfectly balanced ecosystem. There is a counter for every style. No one is safe.
And we get to see these styles collide very soon. Let's fast forward to the main event. Friday, February 20th, 2026. The MAP Sports Facility.
Opening night. The date everyone has been waiting for.
This is where the rubber meets the road. We have the schedule right here, and the league has split the action across 2 courts. Court 7, the Pepsi Court, and Court 8, the Aquafina Court. And I want to break down these matchups because the scheduling committee, they knew exactly what they were doing.
They definitely wanted to set a tone. They aren't easing anyone in with exhibition games.
Let's start with Court 7, the Pepsi Court. Tip-off is 7:41 p.m. We have the Bisons versus Mamba.
Okay, so the improved versus the hungry. This is a fascinating opener because both teams are trying to establish a new identity. The Bisons want to show that their roster changes worked, that they aren't the same team as last year. Mamba wants to show that they belong in the upper echelon. It's going to be high energy. I expect a lot of adrenaline, maybe a little sloppiness early on just from nerves, but pure intensity.
And then, stick around for the 8:15 p.m. game on the Pepsi Court. This is the one. I feel like this is the headline event. We have the defending champions, BBQ Chicken, taking on the Raptors.
Wow. Talk about a trial by fire.
They are not giving the champs a warm-up game.
Not at all. And this is a championship-level matchup right out of the gate. You have the swagger and the target on the back of BBQ Chicken going against the most disciplined and physical team in the league.
This is a massive test for the champs.
It is, because the Raptors can bully the champs on night 1, physically push them around, disrupt their rhythm. It sends a shockwave through the whole league. It tells everyone the king can bleed.
It breaks that aura.
It breaks the aura of invincibility immediately. But if BBQ Chicken comes out and handles that physicality with finesse, if they dominate a disciplined team, it reminds everyone why they have the crown. It basically says, we are still the standard.
I can't wait for that one. But do not sleep on Court 8, the Aquafina Court. At 7:25 p.m., we have Royale versus Icy Hot.
Speed versus depth. This is going to be the fastest game of the night, hands down.
You think so?
Absolutely. Royale wants to run because that's their chemistry. That is their DNA. Icy Hot wants to run because they have the bodies to sustain it. They want to tire Royale out. If you like transition basketball, if you like fast breaks, outlet passes, and high scores, this is the court you want to be watching.
It's a track meet.
A total track meet. Don't blink.
And closing out Court 8 at 8:45 p.m., we have the Bulls versus the Grizzlies.
And this sounds like the polar opposite of the 7.15 game. This sounds like trench warfare.
Yeah, interior strength versus two-way toughness. That sounds like bruises.
Exactly. You have the Bulls wanting to pound the ball inside, use their strength, slow the game down to a half-court set. You have the Grizzlies wanting to grind on defense. This game is going to be won in the paint. It's going to be physical, probably lower scoring, lots of fouls, lots of contested rebounds. It's a grinder's game. It's for the purists who love defense.
So literally, no matter what kind of basketball you like, you are covered on February 20.
That's the beauty of it. The league has curated a perfect buffet of basketball styles for opening night.
So what does this all mean for the listener, the learner. We've thrown a lot of dates, names, and basketball theory at you. Let's synthesize this.
Sure. Here is the roadmap. First, if you are a player or captain involved in the league, your focus is Friday, Feb 6. Get that roster locked.
Yep.
Do not play games with the deadline. The administrative side matters. Then, enjoy the show on Feb 13 for Media Day. Consume that content. Get to know the personalities.
And then Feb 20, get yourself to the MAP sports facility.
But for the fan, or even the neutral observer, I think now is the time to pick your horse.
I agree. Don't wait until the playoffs. It's too easy to jump on the bandwagon then.
Look at these descriptions we just went through. Do you value discipline and structure? Ride with the Raptors. Do you like the flashy, fast-paced game? Royale is your squad.
Right.
Do you just want to support the Kings until someone knocks them off? BBQ chicken is the wagon to jump on. Do you like the underdog story? Look at the Bisons.
And I think so what here, the big takeaway is the evolution of the league itself.
Definitely. When you look at these distinct identities, interior focus versus perimeter speed, depth versus star power, it tells me that the league has matured. The margin for error is slim.
Right.
In Season 1, maybe you could get by on raw talent alone. You could just be better or taller. In Season 2, with these specific team identities, you need a strategy.
You can't just roll the ball out.
No. You can't play the Bulls the same way you play Royale. If you try to run with Royale, you lose. If you try to wrestle with the Bulls, you lose. You have to adapt. That strategic depth is what makes this season so exciting. We're going to see actual coaching adjustments.
That is the sign of a healthy ecosystem. The metagame has evolved.
Precisely. And that's what keeps us coming back.
It is going to be an incredible season. Season 2 is officially around the corner. The clock is ticking toward Friday's deadline. The anticipation for Media Day is building. And February 20 simply cannot get here fast enough.
It really can't. I'm ready for tip-off.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with one thought. You touched on it earlier, but I want to dig a little deeper for you to think about as we head into this season.
Go for it.
We talked about BBQ Chicken, formerly College rebranding. They're coming in as champs. But here is the provocative question. Is the pressure to repeat harder than the pressure to win the first time? Especially when you have teams like the Bisons who have specifically retooled their entire roster just to stop you.
That is the ultimate question in sports. Winning once can be a fluke. Winning twice, that is a dynasty. And usually the second time, everyone hates you. There's a lonely place at the top. The hunger to stay on top has to match the hunger of the 7 teams trying to knock you off. And that is very, very hard to maintain.
We will see if Armin Brown and his squad can handle the heat in the kitchen. BBQ Chicken indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the B.A.L.L. League Season 2. Stay tuned, check the rosters on Friday, and we will see you at the MAP.
Take care, everyone.